and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Emma. I am going to be doing my June wrap-up. I read 6 books, something like that, this month, so let's just get into them. First off is Ocean at the End of the Lane. I finished this like June 1st. I was really pleasantly surprised by this. I love Neil Gaiman, but the past 2 things of his that I've read, I haven't really enjoyed, and I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't know what to do, basically. And then I read this, and I was like, oh, never mind, he still got it. This follows a boy whose name I do not remember. Let's just figure out his name. Do we never find out his name? There's no way. No, we know it. It's like Richard or something, right? There's no way I read the entire book and didn't notice that he didn't have a name. Hey Google, what was the main character's name in The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman?
Letty. On the website nytimes.com, they say, Ursula seduces the narrator's family, and he is the only one who recognizes her as a monster.
He doesn't have a name. Well, no wonder I couldn't remember it. Why did I think it was Richard? The narrator, I think they insinuate, I don't remember if it's like confirmed or whatnot, but basically he goes to a funeral and then he drives by his old family home and then drives down to the end of the lane where Letty Hemstock used to live, which was his best friend when she was like 11 and he was like 7 or 8, maybe a little older, I'm not sure. They were like super close friends, and then just a lot of magicalness happens, and it's like, and Neil Gaiman is the pro of magic and mundanity mixed together. Honestly, it was just really fun to read. I gave it 4 stars. I might bump it up to like 4.5 or something, just because I've thought about it a lot. Next up, I read the 3 Dark Crowns series. There are 4 books. It's 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Reign, 2 Dark Thrones, 5 Dark Fates. The numbers not corresponding to which book they are really throws me off. I've read the first 3 before, like back in senior year of high school, and I read 5 Dark Fates for the first time and I was super excited about it. I gave all of them 4.5 on the story graph. I love them so much, and it was such a fun thing to reread them and be like, I remember all of these names. Like, as soon as a name would be mentioned, I'm like, and this is what they did. And it was just such a weird experience because I'm really bad at remembering names, especially when they're not even there. I had a lot of fun with this whole series, and 5 Dark Fates was so good. And just, I love all of like the plot twists that are taken, and just like how each character has a lot of layers. They don't fall flat, and they're not super stereotypical. So the first book, 3 Dark Crowns, follows 3 triplets who are queens. And so basically their mom had triplets, and they each have to fight to the death to be the next queen to have the next triplets. It's like a cycle, basically. Each queen crowned has triplets who then follow in the footsteps. It's kind of like a Hunger Games situation, except with royalty being the end game. There are 5 different powers that you can have. There's the Poisoner, which is good with poisons, Elemental, which is good with the elements, Naturalist, which is good with like plants and animals, and then there are the Oracles, which are like seers, and they can see the future sort of, or they like toss the bones, which are those like, I'll insert a picture of them. And then there's the War Gifted, and they have like battle powers, basically. They can move things with their mind, kind of, and they can like punch people without actually having to touch them, that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. The last 2 are a lot more rare, and it's usually just the Naturalist, Elemental, and Poisoner. So it's 3 queens that are basically battling it out, and they've kind of grown to hate each other over the years. But it's so cool because you see all their different perspectives, and you feel so sympathetic for each one. You're like, wow, those other 2 queens are bitches. And then you get to the next one, and you're like, wow, it's just that other queen that's horrible. And then you finally get to her perspective, and you're like, wow, there's so much that you guys do not know about each other and you feel sympathy for all of them. Let me know if you guys have read this series because I had so much fun with it and I'd love to talk to someone about it. And next, I read the Stonewall Riots. This was like an informative thing and it was told through objects, which I thought was really cool. Each chapter had its own object, so it would be like a photograph or a police hat, just like little bites of history that kind of tell a story, and they all sort of come together and make this intricate story. It's interesting because the Stonewall Riots, like, no one really knows all of what happened there. There was a bird, I'm so sorry. And I also started listening to a podcast that my friend recommended, and it is You're Wrong About. I'll have a link for it down below, but they have a Stonewall episode. I only listened to the first bit of it because until just now I forgot about it. I completely forgot about a book that I read in June, and that is So You've Been Publicly Shamed. I finished this in June, yeah. I've been reading it for a while, but I finally got there. It took me a really long time. I think sometimes nonfiction books just take me a while, but I did really enjoy it. I think I gave it around 4 stars. This was written in what, like 2015 or something? And since then, cancel culture has changed and grown, and it's like, it's got a name now, you know? And so it's just kind of interesting to read this now and like see how it applies and how not much has changed or how some things have changed, and I guess, yeah, just like the psychology behind it. But I enjoyed this so much that I actually ended up getting the psychopath test. I got it off of thrift books, so there's no dust jacket. If you want to see more of my reviews and kind of look at all the other books I've read, because there's some that I don't have anything on BookTube just because of school and stuff like that. I just never made wrap-ups for them. So if you want to go check out the reviews for those, I have a story graph that I'm using now. I haven't used Goodreads in a few months, so that's definitely not updated. But yeah, if you want to follow me on any of my other socials, they're all down below, and they're all pretty much at Emma7 Sterling. Like this video if you enjoyed, and comment down below if you've read any of these and if you want to talk about them, because I do. And I will talk to you guys later.